Hey, FlimsyLunchTray here, and welcome to World of Warships for my newest damage record, which isn't on NA, it's on EU here in the Tier 10 Pan-American Battleship, the Libertad. So I was playing on EU. This was actually live on Twitch. You can even go to the past broadcast if I try to remember it. I can link it below and catch it live. But this was a battle, which I didn't even realize how much damage I had till the very end of the battle. So I'm working on the Lunar New Year event, the Neon Paradox, however you want to phrase it. And the goal was potential damage. This ship does a pretty good job at that. So what you're going to see here, me starting out, is taking some time and starting off slow here. So I'm going to be playing with the throttle a bit, to be completely honest with you, before I just rush in. Because we want to catch a potential cruiser broadside. This is a pretty cruiser-heavy match, if you look here. We have, that's a battleship, right? Yeah. We have a Yodo, Worcester, Napoli, Utrecht, Alaska, and a Aegir. With just a Jaeger. So technically the Jaeger should be over here on this flank, so we'll see if that actually comes to pass or not. But yeah, so the last damage record I had on total across servers for myself was with the Valparaíso with 326,000 damage, I think it was, something like that. And today we're going to exceed that. Now, I'm going to basically kind of give in-game commentary and highlighting my play strategies kind of from this point forward. So when we started off here, we were hoping to catch a cruiser broadside, which we do, and apparently we under-aimed a little bit on the gear. And so I was debating, do I want to go up over to where the Genon friend is at, or do I want to push out here wide? And I'm already seeing the Colombo and Devastation, which would be our two biggest weaknesses, are elsewhere. They're going to other flank. So that really opens things up for us to go ahead and push in here quite heavily. You know, we see the Montana, we see the Wujing. We're still missing the Yamato. The Montana's mid. So we're still waiting to see where those are going to appear at. And our Schultz is being smart to not stay in the smoke because we haven't spotted Jaeger yet. We don't know where Jaeger is, but I'm not even detected with a 14.4 conceal. So Libertad, like Valparaíso, it got a little nerf. I think it was on the rudder shift time or turning circle radius, something like that. It's not as responsive as it used to be. But it's basically a battleship where, like Valparaíso, angle your armor and let your secondaries do the work. Now, granted, you know, we do have these 419mm guns. We have 6 turrets, so we got 12 419mm guns with, so, you know, not as many guns as Valparaíso, of course. But we can definitely punch. We can definitely cause some citadel wreckage as well, if you will. And with our funny button key, we can, the modified secondary munitions, we can extend our secondary battery range by plus 20%. Secondary battery reload time, negative 20%, and secondary damage, plus 30%, with action time of 30 seconds. Activates to reach 1,000 HP potential damage. Hit an enemy ship with the main battery shell, 6.5%. And fulfilling the progress bar here, if you will. And this is working beautiful because both the Yamato and the Aegir are pushing directly into us. Genon is set up quite nicely to the left. He's spamming that incoming fire here. And I want to get rid of the Aegir first. Aegir, however you want to say it, because he has the torpedoes, right? He's got 6-kilometer torpedoes, and I want to try to see if I can utilize this island here, maybe between me and the Alaska that's going to be sitting here and just now starting to shoot at us. But this Yamato has taken several torpedoes. He's being pretty focused by our team as they ignore the Aegir. So then we're going to end up just flipping our focus here on to the Aegir. Which I don't think I actually have the secondaries, manual secondaries selected on him right now, but our secondaries are working away as it were anyhow. So we're in his hydro. I'm gonna go ahead and kill the throttle and turn in, and I'm like, yeah, we can yoink him at this point. And we'll yoink him, get him off the board. And we have our progress bar is not complete yet. So now we're gonna rope around and come on towards Alaska. Note, Jaeger is not even on this flank. So basically, we're working to collapse this flank as much as possible, but we do, even though we're winning this flank, our team is rapidly dying on the opposing flank. This is basically the experience I had for most of my time on EU playing the other day. It was very frustrating. It was very annoying. So besides this Alaska, the only really threat is the Montana, if Montana decides to push in. Otherwise, I'm pretty comfortable to push this Alaska. We filled the progress bar. We got a Citadel up through his nose in the deck, I think it was. So then we're going to push this, and we're going to work our way out. So he wants to reverse in behind the island. We want to come out this way. At this point, we're at 54,000 damage, because I even need to see that for myself, because I couldn't believe where I would landed at when the game was all said and done. But Libertad, yes, the battleship where you point and aim and let your secondaries do the work. You get a combination of 127s, but what makes the battleship quite deadly is the 234 millimeters. So those have pretty alpha, they have really good pin. So we get end up getting some nice numbers, ultimately all said and done, and pinning opposing enemy ships. Now Montana has decided to push towards us. So the fun thing is, a lot of things that Libertad Valparaíso do quite well is also setting fires. So if we can set some fires on him with our secondaries, if we fill our progress bar, which is what I'm going for here, that will help us. We have a teammate. This is arms race, so they picked up an increased reload speed. So now our 419s are doing 28.7 second reload time. So that's really good. I think I do the auxiliary armaments in the 6th slot for faster reloading, 234s and 127s. And I was pushing so much that or focused so much on the battle, I didn't see a lot of the chat, because I think it even gets more chatty here later on. But with this being arms race, eventually, what we want to do is we want to fight for mid. Your motto honestly should be sailing like this way, and he's going to sail like all the way around through here. He's going very slow. We're turning in, we're killing our speed, we're trying to juke these Montana salvos as much as possible. So that's really helping us out here. I know I am actually manual secondary selecting, I don't know why it's not, it's building, okay. I was like, it usually lights up more white, I thought. All Schultz takes out the Alaska because he rushed him from behind, so that works out pretty well. So we're good to see that, and then a little annoyed. Puerto Rico's going to push us away, so it's like, well, if Puerto Rico wants to eat the 406 salvo, he can. But we are setting fire, so now we're up to 105,000 on the Montana. So that's kind of, even though the Montana's running away, whenever we're able to fill the progress bar, we're able to just reach out with our funny button and get him. So that's good. So we're 811,000 potential with 56,000 spotting. So that's quite interesting. The other thing we have going on here is if you look at the chat or the team members, the Montana's div with the Jaeger and the Utrecht. And the Utrecht is beginning to shift focus onto us. So Jaeger is, hanging out here. So I don't really want to keep pushing in to deal with an Utrecht that's going to be spamming us with HE airstrikes. And then I can see the Napoli is also positioned to come over here. So it doesn't really favor me to kind of keep pushing out here in the open. I'm just going to draw a lot of attention to myself. And in arms race, we want to be fighting for a cap, right? Because at this point, that's really what's going to take. The team kill loss ratio is pretty similar. We've lost 5, they've lost 5. The game is still winnable at this point. This depends on the HP of our other team members, if you will. And between Utrecht and Napoli and Montana firing at us, we're able to fill our combat instructions again. So I'm able to harass the Montana even though he's 14.1 kilometers away. We lose the Aramonte Oquendo, so that's not great. And then we're going to dive in here behind the island as our funny button comes to an end here. Now I thought maybe I could keep sailing here, but at the same time, if I come around the island and I get caught here, Montana has a really nice broadside salvo into us, so I decide it's not worth it. Instead, we're just going to back off, and I'm hoping maybe I can snipe the Utrecht here, and he's going to probably start going forward, so kind of waiting, and he starts firing forward there, and we're going to go ahead and pop another heal here. One of the big mistakes that ends up happening is our team gets a little excited in A. So a lot of these guys have a lot of islands here to fight around. And what we really need to see them to do between the Schultz, the Gianonio Schultz is going for the reload buff, but where's Yoda with the 5-kilometer Hydra, right? There goes Genon. Genon spotted out in the open by Jaeger. That's chilling up here because, you know, the cap progress is not happening right now. It's blocked. So, you know, he spotted, you know, there's a Devastation, there's a Colombo, there's a Montana. I mean, there's lots of targets to shoot. Puerto Rico, also, you know, my advice would for him to chill out behind the island. And he's not. Schultz is being fired upon. I'm not sure if it's Hydro lighting him up or what exactly, but he's overextended. That's not great. Torpedoes coming in on our friend in the Puerto Rico from Jaeger. And looks like he gets clipped by some. And at this point, we're sitting at 1.3 million potential with 161,000 damage. Now, it's great if we can get rid of the Colombo here. So I'm just going to ease up here. I don't want to get overzealous and push out past this. We do have a heal buff ticking for our Schultz, but, you know, we are able to take Colombo out, but Utrecht kills the Puerto Rico with the fire. Schultz is still being, looks like, shot at. His Torp's coming for him. He's scared. So we're going to just chill here and see if we can anchor down. Jaeger actually left the cap, so I'm hoping, oh, maybe I can flip the cap. Maybe, you know, there's no need for Jaeger to leave, but the map shrinks, right? And then there goes Schultz to the Yodo, who steps out and is able to shoot him with, apparently Yodo did have Hydro going. So rapidly deteriorates into a very bad situation for us here. Also have to be mindful of Montana. You know, if Montana decides to come in and get some backdoor shots from over here. So we're going to chill. We're going to hope that our Ushakov can make some plays here for us, see if that helps us out. But the challenge now is, you know, really it's between the Ushakov or the Yamato, the ones being seen right now. So our Yamato friend is going to end up taking some focus fire here as you see it kind of pouring in on him, if you will. And I'm kind of waiting for these guys to push up until I engage again. So we're going to play with the speed. There's the Jaeger Torps. You know, Devastation I talk about in the live stream on the Twitch. You know, he can Citadel us through the bow here. If he switches to AP, we're not angled quite enough. And I was like, well, do I go for Yodo instead? Because he's pushing in. And I'm like, oh, I really like that big salvo damage we had there. But, you know, there's a 3,300 damage salvo from our 234s. So it's like, what? If we're able to make this work, I'd like to make this work and sit here and farm. Maybe get rid of Devastation. As we lose the Yamato, it comes down to me and the Ushakov. We're going to reverse here. We're trying to isolate the engagement. We don't want to be focus fired too much by other team members as we reach 200,000 damage. And Devastation gets his super heal off. I can see Jaeger is moving up further to the left here. So I'm going to reverse even a little bit further back. We want to maintain things here. And Ushakov snipes the Napoli. So that's very helpful here. You know, also likely that potentially Napoli has torpedoed here. So Ushakov, you know, I'm hoping maybe he can make some magic happen here in the background for us. I'm not really sure. At the same time, I'm thinking Montana's likely to come around the island on us, potentially, which he does. So we're going to start feeding into that. And at this point, I'm like, if we're going to just probably go for the ram on the Montana. 247,000 damage. We're going to activate our funny button again. It's still working over the Devastation. We've got secondaries also firing towards the Jaeger. 265, we're coming in here for the ram. Ram, a lot of damage there. 365,000 damage, and fire is ticking on Devastation there as well. So apparently we're able to get a lot of damage there at the end. It was quite a significant jump, to be honest, with 3 million potential damage. But now they will be able to flip the key area A quite quickly, as our damage is going to stop ticking here at 374,394 damage. So basically, you know, in terms of the damage records, I've added at this point about another 50k on top of where I was, about 365 originally, which is pretty cool. And I'm really wanting soon to work on trying to get into the 400k club. It's kind of easy with, you know, Valparaíso, really difficult ship to kill. If you angle your armor well, utilize your super heals correctly, and that Libertad also can be a pretty difficult ship to kill. I don't have it fully spec'd out where I could have got another heal off here on EU. I don't have a 21 point commander yet. So we could have gone for more, you know, rather, you know, maybe we could chill out there and not just taking the ram, but I was like, maybe at least need to make sure I can try to take him with me. But you can see how low the devastation we got here, all said and done, which I think then Ushakov actually goes for, if I recall here correctly. So it's not like, well, he's got the heal from his team sticking, and we had 2 reload buffs going all said and done here. So Arms Race is helping us with the damage numbers as well. And there goes that last salvo there. Yeah, there he goes. Now he gets him. So, you know, it's like, it's cool to get the high damage for sure, but it's not like these ships are, you know, between Libertad and Valparaíso are like, well, it doesn't take a lot of talent, honestly. It takes, I guess, talent in terms of positioning and angling your armor. But we did get a first grade efficiency badge, but it's not showing here. So, pretty cool stuff. We'll see if I'm able to bump this number up again soon, because it wasn't that long ago I just broke my previous damage record. And then I had another 300k game with Libertad after this as well, and it was also a defeat. So it was a pretty brutal day for World of Warships randoms with Libertad on the EU server. Nothing different from NA server, EU server. Only difference is people are less chatty on the EU compared to NA. So you can see the layout there. Go team score. Even with a loss, we did almost 2200 base XP. And you can see it was really only several of us responsible for dealing out a lot of the damage against enemy team here. So we did really well with base XP despite the loss. What easily would have been a 3k, 32, 3400k base XP game if we had one. You know, and ultimately, you know, we did get it down low to these 3. I feel kind of wish that Genon and Schultz hadn't thrown so easily there, or died and overextended themselves, because that just wasn't smart decisions. Kind of funny that it's just highlighting 765 there, but you know, 109 on Devastation, 150 on the Montana alone. You know, Alaska, we took him for most of his health. And we did a lot of damage towards the end there against the Jaeger with our secondary, so he was not liking being hit, so that was really adding to the damage there, yeah, towards the end. So yeah, so we'll see. So I hope you liked today's video. Just wanted to highlight it. So we're going to see if we can't keep pushing this number up more and more. I'd love to get into the 400k club here in 2026. This is going to be one of my goals for the year here in World of Warships. So if you liked today's video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Subscribe if you want to see more. If you subscribe, thanks so much. I appreciate it. Thank you to my Patreon supporters. Until next time, take care.